So, Doug, thank you so
Welcome.
much.
Well, I'm so glad to be here. I'm excited to talk about these topics and to help people understand that there's hope and there's freedom. You know, when you hear the word sexual addiction, sometimes it's like a cloud comes in the room.
Yeah, it feels like it's more and more these days.
But I'm like 40 years clean and the sun shines bright. And I've seen thousands of couples get better and connect, and men get free and, you know, quadruple their businesses and go into their callings and become better dads, and women as well. We have books on female sexual addiction, which is a whole nother topic. It's raging right now, especially on college campuses. And so I'm glad we're talking about this, because this is where a lot of people live, but there's no sign out the door. You know what I'm saying? It says, hey, I'm struggling.
It's probably going to get worse with
I have job
digital
security.
addiction.
It's
you have
gotten
job security.
Yeah. I mean, for the last 20 years, you know, when we were talking about Mark Laser, when we started, I mean, you pretty much had to go find pornography. Now it's in your phone. You know what I'm saying?
Like 6th grade.
And it's younger than that. And
it's so bad.
we find...
No, it's 8, 9-year-olds.
And
they
it's
get
really
phones.
sad.
Yes, and they get addicted to pornography, and they get it robs their development neurologically. What it does to the brain, you know that, and it's significant when you attach your sexuality, the most powerful thing you've been given, to an object relationship. And so, yeah, it's a setup for failure.
No, I've seen it in volunteering in classrooms. You know, I think as soon as kids were able to have phones with them is when I noticed it. Maybe it was happening earlier
absolutely.
than that.
No, absolutely. That's when it really expedited.
And the ones who had older siblings, it was worse.
Yes. Yeah, because they got exposed to things. Because when you're on the internet, you can go, like when we were younger, you know, you had Playboy, you had Penthouse. Okay, it was pretty tame compared to what in a second you can get into bestiality. You can get into crazy stuff. And your 6-year-old, you don't even have abstract reasoning to process what you're looking at.
So talk about, what is sexual addiction?
Well, I mean, sexual addiction, first of all, if you are one, you know you are.
Really?
Because you tried to stop. You made promises to yourself to stop. Sounds like addiction, right? You've had consequences oftentimes, and you kept using beyond those consequences. But it's really using the sexual behavior to medicate either past pain or current stresses in a way that's not productive in your life. And there's 6 types of sex addicts, and we can talk about that. But there's different ways to be going down the road to arrive at the city of sex addiction. But once you're there, you have to get out.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Absolutely.
When you say you know you are, it seems to me like society keeps trying to make this normal, like pornography and all the, you know, the Pornhub and all these things. Like it's a normal thing now. And so if we're trying to normalize it, then how do people know? At what point do they know that they're in trouble?
Well, what happens is, even though other cultures and Asian cultures and European cultures, they're ahead of us on that curve, okay? And so we've been raising kids in pornography for longer than we think. But like Hugh Hefner made it popular, mainstreamed it in our generation, right? But what happens is that the human spirit still knows when it's doing something it ought not to do it. Like you can steal the cookie in any culture and know you stole the cookie. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when you're looking at the nakedness of a person, which is really true holiness, because we're made in that image, you know you're doing something that's not appropriate. And if you can't stop, even when you want to, you begin to realize that maybe I am the problem.
Do you do you think shame that's where shame starts?
Well, shame becomes part of the cycle, because you do something wrong and then you either feel guilt or shame. Guilt is, I did something wrong. Shame is, I am something wrong. Well, if you keep doing something wrong long enough, you begin to believe that I am something wrong. And then shame fuels the whole addiction cycle, whether it's alcohol, drugs, food, sex, or any of those behaviors.
So how have you seen it change since you started 30 years ago?
Well, it used to be like the single images, one page at a time. Now you can go fast, click, 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 click. It used to be that people would crash. It would take 20 or 30 years to crash. And now they're crashing in their adolescence. They're crashing in their early 20s. In their 20s, they're not able to maintain a physical relationship with their partners or wives because of the high level of reinforcement at the speed it's going on. Plus, with technologies, we're entering a phase, you and I will probably see this phase where men and women will be addicted to sex robots.
Oh, geez.
We are already there in Japan. No, they have these dolls that you can, another conversation, but we're going to see, so technology advances this, okay? And when they start programming these machines, I have a book called Upgrade Your Sex Life, with how someone is actually designed to hear in the sexual space. They're going to become super addicted super quick to these machines, which is going to really we're going to face a challenge. I already have the website. So we're going to face this challenge. Okay. And so technology is advancing that. And so also the apps that have come out. Okay. You and I, we had to go find a pretty girl, right? We had to talk to them. We had to take them out to dinner. We had to buy, we had to spend time with them. We had to do all of that work. Now it's like they go on an app and it's like, do you want to hook up?
So it's so frustrating. And you bring that up. So we've got girls, lots of girls that are just before college age and just graduating college. And my biggest frustration, and I tell them all the time, your generation doesn't know how to date anymore. There's no such thing as courting. There's no such thing as intimacy. It's these apps. They feel to me like they've ruined everything.
Well, there's a certain part of the population. I have a product called Finding Mr. Right for that age, and showing them that there's boys and men and there's men of God. Okay. And the questions to ask to find out what you're looking at, because male does not equal man.
No.
Right. And so there are really good men who aren't doing pornography at 20 years old. Okay. There are good men. Okay. But you're right. The apps have made it for the lazy people. Gets them into expedited trouble, which they can become addicted to, because why not have a different flavor every week? Right?
Well, and now girls are beginning to think that that's the expectation, and they have every right to behave that way, and is expected of them. And so they don't feel good about themselves, but I've noticed that they're doing this.
And that's been going on since the 60s. So
it's terrible.
But you're right. It's exponentially worse. And so we get into sexual addiction because like the one type of sex addict is biological, neurological, right? So when you have a sexual release, you get the highest level of endogenous opiates, hits the prefrontal cortex of the brain, and boom, you attach to whatever you're looking at. And I mean, whatever you're looking at. It can be a person of a different race. It could be same gender. It could be an animal. It could be an object. You glue and attach.
Or a child.
And I can tell you funny stories.
This
about all
is
that.
the arousal template.
The arousal template, yeah. We have a video on sexual templates, because you create a sexual template. And here's the thing is these kids don't know that. And so they're interjecting the sexual template training, but they don't know who they're going to marry.
So wherever you were, whatever you were doing, whatever you were looking at, when you were first aroused, begins to set up neural pathways.
Absolutely.
That you want to go back.
But you can attach to whatever you want. Now, here's the beauty thing, though. You can also, because you are neuroplastic, you can train yourself to attach to a person, even if you spend decades in sexual addiction. I've taught many couples how to have incredible sexual relationship, eyes open, lights on, nurturing conversation, and attach to the soul and the being of the other person. So because we're so wonderfully made, no matter what you've done, you can heal.
That's amazing.
Now it takes a process. It'll take accountability. It'll take more work than, you could think right up front, but the back end is beautiful.